have the current stock market update for SOFI Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker SOFI. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have the hourly time frame here. Each candle on this time frame represents a 1 hour trading period. And I do have some interesting numbers to give people that are currently long this stock or are hyper bullish on this stock. So currently, what we can see is that share prices have managed to form a fairly significant bounce out of this $7.60 support zone. This area was widely expected in many of the videos that we have covered here. Share prices, did fall in line, really did as they were told, and sort of bounced here. But what I think is going on currently is that we're seeing a lot of misplaced optimism with respect to this current upside movement. And the reason that I say that is because if we look at these prior price movements here, what we can really see is that share prices at their highs. I mean, if I'm going by the $8.75 high that was posted today, we're not trading there at the moment. We're trading below 860. So if I'm being as generous as possible and just looking at the this ultimate price high here, what we can see is that share prices have really only gained 5.2% relative to the highs that were seen in late August. So the share price movement here has been minimal at best to the top side. And then when we look to the downside, what we can see here is that share prices actually needed to move lower by 19.3%, declines of 19.3% into this $6.70 area. Okay, but here I'm still being more generous because as we know, anybody that's been following this stock, this really isn't the most severe price low that we've seen. If we just pull back a bit more on the price chart here, we can see that these prior price highs at $8.06, not really much difference here relative to current prices, if we're being honest. And in that case, share prices needed to decline by 25.4% in order to start to find a bottom here. So anytime that you're trading stocks, one of the first things, or any asset, one of the first things that you need to do is establish your risk to reward ratio. How much money do you stand to gain versus how much money do you stand to lose? And in most cases, a favorable risk to reward ratio would be considered to be somewhere around 3-to-1. So for every dollar you're risking, you should be looking for about $3 in price gains, or about 3 times potential for upside rather than downside. This is one of the worst risk to reward ratios I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this is terrible. To see share prices have to decline 25.4% to wind up giving you, roughly 5.2% here in gains is a completely inverted risk to reward ratio. I mean, this is not how trading is done. So, not really surprising to see this because this is an internet stock. And I think that once, the masses start to get involved in something like this, I think that it really winds up distorting the share price, and you really start to see trend wave movements that might not even be the case otherwise. I mean, if this stock was not being so closely watched by Reddit and all these internet groups and things like that, and by other people on YouTube, I think that the share price movements here would probably be much different. I think that what we're seeing here, is a sort of an artificial distortion of what actually should be going on in share prices. I think that it can tend to have a much more negative effect than it might have otherwise. And I think that just comes from the fact that the herd is now moving into the stock and holding on to it for long periods of time. Okay, so the overall momentum here, the movement here has been positive. Okay, we are trading at near-term highs here. We're currently trading right below 860. So I am giving you these readings in the most generous way possible here. If we're looking at the recent high at 875, what you're looking at here is a gain of roughly 5% relative to what was seen in August. So, this doesn't compare very well to the broader market. I mean, there are other things that can be done with a person's money. I mean, there's just a lot more that can be done here. And then, those types of investments shouldn't include price declines of 25.4% and 19.3%, just to give you access to a potential gain of 5.2%. I mean, we're not talking about much more than like a treasury bond or something like that. I mean, these are very low percentages. And what we can see here is that the stock, anybody that's holding the stock has to encounter periods of very, very severe decline to the downside. I mean, this is not the way it's done. This is not the correct way to be trading the market. So I do suggest that people take a bit more of a look at their risk to reward ratio, because what we're seeing here is a tremendous amount of downside and drawdown for what? For the gain of a very small percentage here. So, currently what I am looking at, just to close out the video here, I would consider this support zone at $7.60 to be incredibly important. If we do break below there, I think that you could be in for some fairly severe losses. I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to happen, but I do think that we're probably ready to start topping out here in share prices somewhat soon. The indicator reading itself doesn't really give us much information here or much help, because there is sort of a conflicting signal in two different directions, and both of these signals are roughly equal in length. But what you can say, even though there is some positive momentum here, what you can say is that there is a very obvious bearish divergence that is occurring at the moment, because as we can see here, as far as this time frame is concerned, share prices are making new highs. Okay, but if we look at the indicator reading, and this is the hourly time frame here, so this is a closely watched chart history. Are we seeing? This is my question. Are we seeing similar highs in the indicator reading? No, we are not. The indicator is making much lower lows here, while share price is making these higher highs. So what this tells me is that the indicator is not confirming these price moves higher. The sustainability of these recent price moves is looking questionable at best. So when you compare this possibility here to the prior history of this stock to encounter severe downturns in exchange for minimal gains, like very weak, tepid gains, this really doesn't look like an attractive prospect for me for a longer term investment. So here's the current stock market update for SOFI Technologies, stock ticker SOFI. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.